My sister introduced me to her boyfriend with a mocking smile. This is the failure of our family. My parents laughed. He stayed silent. Then he said, interesting, because you're fired, and we're done. My sister has called me a failure my entire life. I'm 3 years younger than her, and nothing I ever did was good enough. She graduated top of her class. I barely passed. She got a fancy corporate job right out of college. I worked at a bakery for 6 years before starting my own small cake business from home. To my family, that made me a loser. It didn't matter that I was happy. It didn't matter that I paid my bills and loved what I did. I wasn't successful in the way they understood, so I was nothing. Christmas last year was at my parents' house. I almost didn't go, but my mother guilted me into it, saying it was important because my sister Jenna was bringing her new boyfriend and she wanted the whole family there. I showed up on time with a tray of cookies I'd made. My mother took them without saying thank you and put them in the back of the kitchen behind the store-bought desserts. Classic. When Jenna arrived, she walked in like she owned the place. Designer coat, perfect hair, a man behind her who I didn't recognize. He was tall, quiet, well-dressed. He looked around the room taking everything in but not saying much. Jenna grabbed his arm and pulled him toward me. I was standing by the fireplace trying to stay out of the way. This is my little sister, Jenna said loudly so everyone could hear. She had that smile on her face, the one she gets when she's about to say something cruel. This is the failure of our family. She runs a little cake thing from her apartment. Isn't that cute? My mother laughed from the kitchen. My father chuckled from his chair and nodded like Jenna had just told a funny joke. Even my aunt who was visiting smiled and shook her head like I was some kind of charity case they all tolerated. I didn't say anything. I was used to it. I just stood there and waited for it to pass like I always did. But the boyfriend didn't laugh. He didn't smile. He just looked at my parents, then at my aunt, then at Jenna. His face was completely blank. Jenna didn't notice. She kept going. Seriously though, she's almost 30 and she decorates cakes for a living. Can you imagine? I keep telling her to get a real job, but she doesn't listen. She's always been the stubborn one. The boyfriend finally spoke. His voice was calm and quiet. What's your name? He was looking at me. I told him. He nodded slowly. And you run your own business? I make custom cakes, mostly for weddings and birthdays. I do okay. He smiled slightly. That's impressive. Starting something from nothing takes courage. Jenna laughed nervously. She didn't like where this was going. Babe, it's not really a business. She works out of her kitchen. It's more like a hobby. He turned to look at her. The smile was gone. A hobby that pays her bills and makes people happy. What exactly do you do again? Jenna blinked. What do you mean? You know what I do. I work at your company. He nodded. Right. You work in my marketing department. You've been there about 8 months. You're on a performance improvement plan because you missed 3 deadlines last quarter and blamed your team for all of them. The room went completely silent. My mother stopped moving in the kitchen. My father lowered his glass. Jenna's face turned red. That's not fair. Those deadlines weren't realistic. My team didn't support me properly. He kept going. You also expensed $1,400 in personal meals to the company card and claimed they were client dinners. HR flagged it last week. I was going to address it after the holidays, but I think now is fine. Jenna's voice got high and shaky. You're embarrassing me in front of my family. He looked around the room. You just called your sister a failure in front of me, in front of everyone, and they all laughed. Nobody defended her. Nobody said a word. He looked back at Jenna. I've been sitting here for 10 minutes watching how you people treat her, and I've heard enough. Jenna grabbed his arm. Can we talk about this privately? He pulled his arm away. No, you wanted to perform for your family, so here's my performance. You're fired. I'll have HR send the paperwork Monday, and we're done. I'm not dating someone who treats their own sister like garbage and thinks it's entertainment. He turned to me. It was nice to meet you. I hope your business keeps growing. Then he walked out the front door. Nobody moved for what felt like an hour. Jenna started crying. My mother rushed over to comfort her. My father glared at me like this was somehow my fault. Jenna pointed at me through her tears. This is because of you. You ruined everything. I didn't say a single word to him. He saw who you are all on his own. I picked up my coat and left. I didn't stay for dinner. I didn't say goodbye. I just drove home and sat in my kitchen surrounded by cake orders that needed to be finished. The next week, Jenna called me screaming. She said I destroyed her career and her relationship. She said I must have planned this somehow. She said I was jealous of her my whole life and this was my revenge. I let her yell until she ran out of breath. Then I hung up. For 27 years, my family called me the failure. Turns out I wasn't the problem. I never was.